2 hours ago, the occupiers attacked a civilian car with a drone in the village of Blahoveshchenska and wounded an elderly man. His foot was torn off and he was taken to the hospital, according to the Kherson Regional Military Administration. And 3 people were injured as a result of the overnight shelling in the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the Sinelnikov district, the enemy directed drones straight at residential neighborhoods. Houses, a store and a kindergarten caught fire. An elderly man and a woman were wounded there. Another resident of Marhanets was also injured. The enemy attacked Odesa region overnight with strike drones, damaging the facades and shattering windows in 2 residential buildings, an equestrian club, and a gas station. All fires have been contained according to the Regional Military Administration, and there were no casualties. In the Kharkiv region, in Staryi Saltiv, 2 elderly people were injured as a result of a nighttime attack. An enemy drone struck their private house directly, setting it on fire. The fire was extinguished by an officer, a community rescuer, and together with the state emergency service. In total, Russia launched 142 drones overnight, 92 of which were neutralized by our air forces. There were 42 Shahed drone strikes recorded at 18 locations. The north, south, and east of Ukraine were under attack. Meanwhile, at the front, the enemy is changing tactics, relying on infantry groups, weather conditions, and innovative yet insidious technologies. The overall intensity of fighting in some areas remains steady, and our soldiers continue to hold back the advance of Russian forces in several key sectors.
The most difficult situation, as before, is in the POKROVSK direction.
The enemy is currently carrying out constant assault actions. At the moment, the line of contact currently runs along the railway, that is essentially to the south of the city. The enemy has infiltrated and is trying to advance further.
Over the past week, the Russians have made significant advances in Pokrovsk and MIRNOGRAD, creating a serious threat of encirclement. According to Deep State, there are less than 2 kilometers between the gray zones.
The enemy is currently attempting to concentrate their forces closer to the city center in order to infiltrate further north.
Despite the active fighting, about 1,000 civilians still remain in the city, continuing to live next to the front line. There is even a video circulating online showing a woman supposedly in Pokrovsk working out on a treadmill.
They are not afraid, they continue living their lives. The guys at the position tell some rather strange stories. While a firefight is going on just 30 meters away, someone is cooking borscht on a portable stove.
Recently, a video appeared online showing local collaborators smiling at the occupiers against a backdrop of graves and ruins left by the Russians' own shelling. Another important direction is the Kupiansk area. The enemy has repeatedly claimed that the city is under their control.
There are groups in the outskirts of the city. At the beginning of November, these groups tried very hard to carry out active operations to break through to the center and even to the southern districts, but they were effectively isolated.
That's why now they are trying to bypass from the flanks. At the same time, the intensity of the offensive here is not increasing, because according to Trehubov, the Russian command probably considers the city already captured.
They believe they are winning. They report to Putin that Kupiansk has already been taken, so why send additional forces there if Kupiansk is already captured?
In the Zaporizhzhia direction, fighting is taking place over logistical routes and the settlements of Orikhiv and Novodanilivka.
The enemy's active operations are significantly aided by the presence of poor and unfavorable weather conditions. So to speak, approximately 2 to 3 months ago, the enemy was still actively launching assaults with vehicles during daylight hours without any adverse or problematic weather conditions. They attacked in 5 to 6 directions in waves, with up to 10 waves. Now the enemy is actively searching for potential weak spots or vulnerabilities in our defense and is using the thick fog.
The occupiers' goal is not only to seize territory but also to terrorize Zaporizhzhia with artillery fire to put pressure on the authorities and the civilian population. In addition, new dangerous drones have been spotted in the Zaporizhzhia region.
For example, so-called zherduni, waiters. This is the one that actually flies directly into our rear area, lands safely on the road, and can remain waiting there for approximately 12 hours or so. In its standby mode, it is able to detect our equipment, including mobile units, tracked vehicles, and other similar assets, by monitoring their presence and activity, and so on.
An analysis of the operational situation at the front provides a clear understanding of the occupiers' objectives. They aim to exhaust Ukrainian forces, disrupt logistics, and sow panic in the rear. Tetiana Dimuk, My Ukraine Marathon, United News.
In Russia, the Novokuybyshevsk Oil Refinery was once again under attack. The Russian opposition channel Astra reports that a fire broke out at the plant after the explosions. Ukrainian drones have already halted the operation of this refinery twice. There were also loud noises in Taganrog where something arrived, but there is no information yet. Let me remind you, 2 days ago, Ukrainian UAVs and cruise missiles struck a 60 aircraft in Taganrog, as well as Il-76s, and also hit an aircraft factory and the Molnia drone manufacturing enterprise. Temporarily occupied territories were also under attack last night. In Luhansk region, a substation in Novokuybyshevsk was attacked. Locals report a strike in Donetsk region. Donald Trump did not set any deadlines for reaching a peace agreement on Ukraine. The US president denied the existence of strict timeframes. He emphasized that the main goal is to stop the killing, not to meet calendar dates. Earlier, the Financial Times reported that the White House had given Kyiv a strict ultimatum to agree to the terms of the peace plan by Thanksgiving, which is celebrated in the US today. Trump also added that negotiations are ongoing and that next week his special envoy Vitkov will visit Moscow. At the same time, another Trump negotiator, Dan Driscoll, will arrive in Kyiv.
I don't have a deadline. For me, the deadline is when everything is over. And I think that at this point everyone is tired of the fighting. We are having good negotiations, but it is a long and complicated process. I would like this to be over. We don't know the exact timing, but we will make progress.
After the shooting involving a National Guardsman in Washington, the US is suspending the processing of immigration applications from Afghan citizens. Law enforcement determined that the attacker turned out to be a migrant from that very country. The shooting took place the day before, just a block from the White House. 2 National Guardsmen, a man and a woman, are in the hospital in serious condition. The head of the Pentagon sent an additional 500 National Guard troops to the Capitol, and Donald Trump called the attacker an animal. The motives of the shooter are unknown. Law enforcement is also considering the possibility of international terrorism. And the number of people killed as a result of the massive fire in a residential complex in Hong Kong has risen to 55. Another 50 people were injured and 279 are considered missing. The flames engulfed several skyscrapers at once. Strong winds spread the fire instantly. The fire is still being extinguished. According to law enforcement, the fire may have started from bamboo construction scaffolding. Renovations were underway in some of the buildings. Due to the deadly fire, police have detained 2 directors and an engineering consultant from the construction company. A period of mourning has been declared in Hong Kong. In Rivne, a baby was left in the baby hatch. For the first time in 6 years, the boy was named Andriko. He is not even... Our Volodymyr Mykolaichuk will tell you about the baby's condition and what fate awaits him. Here, in the baby hatch, Rivne doctors found the boy with no note left nearby.
He was well cared for, beautiful, his umbilical cord was treated, the injection was done, he was clean and lovely. His clothes were nice, the child was neat and well dressed.
The examination showed that the boy was born in a medical facility as he had received his first vaccination. The baby is approximately 5 days old and weighs 3 kilograms.
Our boy is lively and active, he keeps kicking off his sock.
They named him, Andriy, in honor of the doctor who picked the baby up from the baby hatch. The baby has already been transferred from the intensive care unit to a regular ward.
Come on, I'm telling you, honestly, he's a really great guide, a good deputy, a very smart boy.
He eats heartily 60 milliliters of adapted milk formula at a time, digests it well, and demands it very actively when he's hungry. And when the child is full and lacks nothing, he sleeps peacefully like an angel.
This is the second case in Rivne where newborns have been left in a baby hatch. The last time a baby was left here was 6 years ago. A new family was quickly found for Mikhailo. As for Andriko, he will stay in the maternity hospital for now, in case his mother changes her mind and comes back for her baby.
The woman who left her baby in the baby hatch will not face any criminal proceedings. No one will be searching for her. In other words, the woman has complete freedom of movement, life, and choice. And secondly, the child is in absolutely safe conditions.
Meanwhile, the medical facility has already received hundreds of messages from people who were moved by the fate of the abandoned baby. They offered all kinds of help, from clothing to food, and even to adopt the child.
Yesterday, we received more than 10 calls from people who are ready to come today and take the boy home.
But this issue will be decided by social services. In the meantime, Andriko is gaining strength and undergoing additional examinations. I'm from Rivne. Volodymyr Mikolajchuk, Alexander Boyko, Major Ukraine, Rafon. Jedin